How do you get what you want in life? It's one of those big questions, right? And today, we're looking at two totally different blueprints for how to answer it. One sees life as a strategic game you have to win. The other sees it as a spiritual test you have to pass. All right, let's get right into it. Man, this quote from Robert Greene, it just nails a feeling we all know, right? That feeling of being helpless. It's just awful. We all crave some kind of control, some agency over our own lives. So the real question we're looking at today isn't if we want that control, we all do, it's how we go about trying to get it. And then you've got this whole other way of thinking. It's the same fundamental desire for fulfillment, but the approach, it's a complete 180. Instead of taking power, the focus here is on receiving it. For a lot of people, a sacred time like Ramadan is this incredible opportunity, a window where their deepest needs can be met, not by their own clever moves, but by a higher power. Same goal, totally opposite direction. All right, so first up, let's walk down the path of strategy and worldly power. Think of this as looking at life like it's a giant chess match. We're going to call it the courtier's game. So the go-to manual for this way of thinking is, without a doubt, Robert Greene's super controversial book, The 48 Laws of Power. And his whole point is basically this. Like it or not, life is a constant power struggle. And if you try to pretend it's not happening, you're just going to end up being someone else's pawn in their game. So this gets right to the core of it. The idea is that our world, right now, is just like one of those old royal courts. Yeah, on the surface, everyone's polite, everyone's civilized, but underneath, it's just bubbling with ambition, jealousy, and pure strategy. And if you want to get ahead, you got to learn how to play both sides of that coin. And this quote from Machiavelli, which Greene uses, is really the key that unlocks this whole mindset. Look, it's not saying you have to be some evil villain. It's about being realistic. The thinking is, if you're playing by a strict moral code, but everyone else is playing dirty, you're just setting yourself up to lose. In this world, power just is. It's not good or bad. Okay, so how do you actually play this game and win? Well, according to Greene, it all starts with mastering yourself. First things first, get a handle on your emotions. Things like anger or even love, they just cloud your judgment. They're your biggest weakness. Next up, you gotta be patient. Patience is your superpower here. It's what keeps you from making stupid, impulsive mistakes. And finally, you have to become a master of appearances. It's all about deception, wearing whatever mask you need for that specific moment. And if you want to see just how cutthroat this gets, check out some of these laws. I mean, we're talking stuff like conceal your intentions, pose as a friend, work as a spy, and, my personal favorite, crush your enemy totally. Wow. So yeah, you can see this is not about being a good person or playing fair. It's about winning in a world that, from this point of view, isn't fair in the first place. Okay, let's take a deep breath and do a complete 180. We're leaving that scheming court behind, and we're turning inward. This is all about faith, self-discipline, and devotion. Let's call it the believer's path. And this quote really says it all for this path. The idea here is that real power, real fulfillment, doesn't come from tricking other people. It comes from getting yourself right with God. So the entire focus flips from controlling the outside world to mastering your inner world. So the core belief here is totally different. You don't take fulfillment through some clever strategy. It's a gift, and it's given to you based on your faith and your actions. So the world isn't some backstabbing court. It's more like a stage where you prove your faith. And the work you do on this path? It's all about mastering yourself. Take Ramadan, for example. A true fast isn't just about not eating or drinking. It's about guarding your eyes from things you shouldn't see and guarding your tongue from things like gossip. So you see the parallel, right? Both paths are about self-control, but the reason for it is a world apart. And don't think this path doesn't have its own kind of strategy. It's a spiritual strategy. There are certain times when prayers are thought to be, extra powerful, like throughout the day while you're fasting, especially right before you break it. Then there are special night prayers. And then there's the big one, the night of power, during the last 10 nights of Ramadan. That's considered the most sacred time of all. And there's even a step-by-step process for making your prayer, for asking for what you want. It's this really specific formula. You start with praise, then blessings, then you ask for good things in general. Then you get specific and ask for what you really want, like that promotion, or marriage, or success in something. And you wrap it all up with a final prayer. It's a blueprint for talking not to an enemy you're trying to outsmart, but directly to God.
So there you have it. Two completely different playbooks for life. One is all about outside strategy, the other is all about inside faith. So let's put them right next to each other and see how stark the contrast really is.
Okay, look at this. It really breaks it all down. The courtier, their goal is worldly power, and their method is strategic manipulation. They're focused on dominating other people in what they see as a giant scheming court. Then you have the believer. Their goal is spiritual fulfillment. The method, pious prayer. Their focus is all on mastering the self in what they see as a test of their faith. I mean, both of these paths take incredible discipline, right? But what they're aiming for and how they try to get there, they're just on opposite ends of the universe.
So after all that, after looking at these two totally opposite ways of living, the spotlight kind of turns back on you. We've seen the blueprints, we've analyzed the methods. It's time to think, which path are you walking? Which one of these blueprints feels more you? How do you move through the world? Are you focused on playing the game, on managing people and what they see, all to get a bit of control? Or are you more focused on mastering what's inside, on reaching that state of faith and submission? And hey, is it even an either-or thing? Or do most of us kind of walk a blurry line right down the middle? I'm going to leave you with one last, really challenging idea here. It's another one highlighted in Greene's book. It basically says that all our principles, all our morals, they're just ideas. They're not real. The only thing that's actually real is what's happening right in front of you. And the truly superior person doesn't follow a rule book. They adapt to the situation and steer it where they want it to go. So is that it? Is that the ultimate secret of the courtier's game? Or is it just one way of looking at a world that has a lot of different kinds of power? That is definitely something to chew on.